Welcome to the Forge Your Future podcast, brought to you by East Central Educational Service Center, located in Newcastle, Indiana. We proudly provide service support and collaboration to 14 counties and 39 member districts.
At ECESC, we believe that students' strengths and interests are a blueprint to forging a future of success and impact, and we are on a journey to provide support and collaboration to schools as they implement career-connected learning for all students.
As part of this mission, we are here today to celebrate the amazing educators who help the students of East Central Indiana dream big dreams and achieve more than they thought possible.
Their work inspires us each day, and we want to lift up their stories and the stories of the students they are impacting and serving. Welcome to the Forge Your Future podcast. My name is Pat Haney, director of the East Central Educational Service Center, and co-hosting with me today is Lindsay Lovern, instructional specialist and grant coordinator here at ECESC. Hi, Lindsay. How are you today?
Hi, I'm great. Glad to be here.
Well, it is our great honor to be joined by two wonderful leaders today from Greensburg Community Schools, Tom Hunter, Superintendent, and also, I might add, ECESC board member, and Tammy Williams, the Curriculum Director. Welcome, Tom and Tammy. How are you both today?
We are great, Pat. Thank you for having us.
Excellent. Well, Tom and Tammy are both very active participants in our programming here at East Central Educational Service Center. And as I mentioned, Tom serves on our executive board, and both attend many of our networking events for district leaders. So, first of all, thank you so much for your support of the Service Center. And we're excited today to highlight some of the amazing things going on in Greensburg Community Schools.
We are glad to highlight those for you.
Wonderful. And we appreciate you being here right at the start of the school year. We know it can be kind of a crazy time here in August, and getting everybody back into the swing of things. But to get us started this morning, we would love it if you would just give us a little bit of background on your district for listeners that don't know as much about Indiana or about Greensburg. Tell us where you're located. Tell us about your students. What's your district all about?
Okay, Greensburg Schools is located in southeastern Indiana. We're a school of about 2,100 students in preschool through 12th grade. Our socioeconomics are probably very similar to most of the schools in rural Indiana. We're somewhere between 40 to 50% free and reduced rate for our students. I think we have done a really great job as a community to support our schools in providing opportunities for our kids that you maybe don't find in every rural school district. We're very ag oriented, but we also have a lot of industry in our community and a lot of partnerships. Greensburg's about 12,000 residents, and that would be from a county of about 25,000. So we have two districts within our county, Decatur County Schools and Greensburg Schools, and we operate just within the city. So we're very, very fortunate to have the support that we have. I've been superintendent here for 25 years, so I've been around a long time and seen a lot of change in our district. But the one thing that's always been very positive is the support that we've received from our community. We've had like 6 different building projects over that time span, and our community has been very supportive of all of those projects. We have very modern, I think, highly tech schools, K through 12, and offer just about every type of programming for our kids that you could imagine. Our brand is Think Opportunity, and I think that we really live that. We want to provide every opportunity to our kids that we possibly can.
Yeah, I love that. One thing that I was thinking about when you were describing your community is you have a little bit of a claim to fame in Greensburg, right? I've been downtown. You have something special going on there?
Well, we have our tree in the courthouse tower that we are world renowned for, as we like to say. But it's been around for over 100 years, and it kind of is the distinguishing symbol of Greensburg, the Tree City. The kind of a little bit of debate about what kind of tree it is, actually, I guess, but it's been in our courthouse tower for many, many years.
That's awesome. So if folks have never been and they're listening, that's a good day trip. Go see the tree in the tower in Greensburg.
Yep.
Love it.
You can stop on the square and visit one of our restaurants and have a piece of pie along with it.
Absolutely.
That sounds perfect.
Highly recommended. So, Tom and Tammy, as you think about Greensburg Community Schools, and obviously here near the start of the school year, it's a time of great energy and optimism. But also, I want to encourage you to take a moment to reflect on what are you really most proud of, and what do you want to celebrate in terms of the opportunities and the programming that you're providing for your students.
Well, Pat, I graduated from Greensburg High School in 1976, came back as a teacher and now superintendent. So I've lived my whole professional life here within the community. My kids all went through the Greensburg Community School system, and they're all very successful. And I look around at the kids that I've known their whole lives here in the community, and I see what they're able to accomplish after high school, whether it be going directly to the workforce or whether it go to university and go into a wide range of different professions. And I think that's what I'm most proud of our school district, is that we provide opportunities for kids to do whatever they want. I don't ever want us to be a district where in second grade we say you're gonna do this for the rest of your life. We want to provide over those 12 years a lot of different experiences for kids, so they can go out there and choose. I would venture to say, back when I was in 5th grade, nobody was going to look at me in a classroom and say, "There's going to be the future superintendent of Greensburg Schools." That's something that evolved over many years, but evolved because of all the experiences that I had going through our district. And I know my kids, I have three kids that have gone through our school district, and they've used the things that they've learned through high school to make them be very successful in college and go on to very successful careers after that. And that's what I wish for every kid. Every kid's not going to be a doctor. They're not all going to be a lawyer. They're also not all going to choose to work on an assembly line or be a carpenter or be a plumber or be a school superintendent. But I want every child to have the opportunity to decide for themselves what they want. And we all know that means offering a very diversified curriculum for our kids, and it costs a lot of money. And the thing that I've found over the years is our community, they're willing to spend the money for our kids to give them all those different experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. And investing in the future of the lives of your kids, and also on in the community as well. It's definitely something to celebrate. I know as you think about the instruction that you're providing for your students in your classroom, I know obviously statewide literacy is a huge focus, and I think you had some celebrations in terms of your elementary literacy growth as well, correct?
Yeah, I'm going to let Tammy speak.
Sure,
on
absolutely.
this.
And we are excited. We have lots of reasons to celebrate, but most recently, 98% of our third graders passed iRead, placing us number 7th in the state. So we are very excited. But that starts long before third grade iRead, as you know, and our school board recognizes that and invests in that, whether it be our pirate preschool, where we offer the free childcare. It's preschool for 4-year-olds, so they get a head start a year before they actually go to kindergarten. It's free of charge. We even offer free transportation, and I have not met another school district that can say that about their preschool, where we have 2 licensed certified teachers. We were excited to earn our Paths to Quality Level 3, which also then allowed us to become an On My Way recognized state preschool. And then we just continue with that investment and commitment to literacy. We also pay for all of our teachers to receive the Orton Gillingham literacy training through the M.A. Rooney Foundation, whether it be kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, and special ed, Title I. We make sure that all those teachers have that strong foundation for students so that they know how to most help our literacy rates.
I think one of the important things with that, as far as our preschool goes, prior to us offering preschool a few years ago, we were seeing in kindergarten, we were retaining a very large number of our kindergartners because they just simply were not ready to go on to first grade. And since we have started the preschool, I think we've retained maybe one kindergartner in the last 3 years. So, it's one of those things that demonstrates that it does work. And I think when you can go out there and you can talk about it and you can show results like that, especially in a community like Greensburg, you get a lot of support.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love that you are highlighting that it's a whole journey, right? We're not just talking about third grade. We're not just talking about seniors graduating. You're starting from the very beginning to give kids the tools that they need to be successful. So that is a huge celebration. Congratulations, and to you and your whole team and all the people that made this happen.
And when you look at it in Greensburg Schools, we've always, in the last decade, even past that, we've had over a 95% graduation rate on top of that. And I've always said that any child that begins in kindergarten in Greensburg, and they come to school every day, they're gonna graduate. There is no doubt. We have, again, too many different, places where we can help them be successful. And some kids, they just need some help. They need someone who's pushing them, providing some resources that may be extra to what everybody else is getting, but you just got to make them be successful. Greensburg Schools, I think, for some of our students, is the best place they go every day. We provide breakfast, lunch, after school activities. We have great participation of all of our ECAs by our kids. And I think if you are from the area, athletically, we're very successful. With our band and music programs, we're successful. With our arts, we're very successful. We have archery programs. We have esports programs where we've been nationally recognized. So we just offer so many different things to get kids involved and make them want to be part of our Greensburg Schools program.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and absolutely. And I know also that you talk a lot about, community and family. You have, if I'm not mistaken, recently been identified as a family-friendly school. And so I'd love to know more about that designation and also the steps that you took to accomplish that.
Tammy?
At the elementary school, it's truly, it's just a community effort, honestly. It's just taking time to recognize how we can work with our community partners, our stakeholders, most importantly, our families and our children, and provide those opportunities from before school, during school, and after school, whether it be our volunteer programs or the after school programs that we provide, getting family input and making them feel welcome and knowing that we truly are partnering for their student success. So I commend the elementary school for being recognized by the Indiana Department of Education as a family-friendly school multiple years running now. So it's one thing to achieve it, but it's another thing to retain it. And so we're excited that they continue to do the things that are necessary for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Love that. That's awesome. All right. We've talked a little bit about the early years with preschool and early literacy. We're also celebrating your graduation rate. Let's shift gears and think about that day after graduation. How would you describe a graduate from your corporation when they leave? What skills, what qualities are you seeing from the students that you launch into the world?
We put a lot of time into the whole portrait of a graduate scenario for a Greensburg student. And we took a lot of input from our community, from businesses within our community, from parents. We had meetings with them, with students, and we kind of formed our own thing that we want to see in a child when they walk across that stage in June as a graduate? What can we say that this person's going to be, I guess, good at? And we stuck with 6 different things. One, that they're going to be persistent. They know how to take a task and work to the end. That they're respectful. I think that is something that as a country we need to probably be a lot more respectful of one another and the differences that we all have. And we try to teach our kids the importance of that in the workplace and in life. That they're inquisitive. Nobody knows everything. If you don't know, go find the answers. And I think that's a very important quality for everyone to have. That they're motivated. Sometimes, you just got to get up in the morning and you got to go to work, even if you don't feel good. And sometimes that's a hard thing for kids to understand today, especially, for kids that may have parents that aren't working for various reasons. Why do they need to get up and they need to go to school every day? We really work hard on motivating kids, that they're employable. We have 40 kids in our high school senior class this year that are doing work-based education, which means they're going to school every day and they're also doing a job every day. And that's about a fourth of our senior class. So that number keeps growing every year. And I think that's going to be very important to show that our kids that are just going to go directly into the workforce, that they're ready to do that. And also the kids are going on to college, that they can go to school every day and they can hold down a job as well. So that's very important. And then the last quality is that they're dependable. That kind of goes a lot with attendance. I think that you can depend on that person being there every day. And our attendance in our schools in Greensburg are very similar probably to the rest of rural Indiana and to the state. We've got kids who never miss a day of school, and we've got kids who we have to struggle with to get there every day. So, those 6 things are our portrait of a grad, and we really believe in those things. They fit into our core values, and they fit into what our expectations of the community are for a kid when they walk across that stage in June.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that, the what I know about both of you in Greensburg Schools is that you not only expect those of your kids, but you model those for them in so many ways. And as we think about the portrait of a graduate, and we think about the programming that you have in place to support students in developing those skills. I know we've celebrated your literacy, students' literacy achievement, and certainly the community effort that took. But also, I'd love to kind of dive into your high school programming a little bit, and how you have connected with the community to create opportunities for students not only to develop those skills, but to demonstrate them as well. Anything in regards to high school programming and maybe unpacking some of those work-based learning experiences a little more in terms of what students can pursue during their high school years?
Well, one thing is, we really focus on a blend of academics and work-based. We think that they work very well together, and that's the kind of student that we want to put out there. Like at our high school, we have 45 dual credit classes that are offered in Greensburg High School. That's of a school of about 700 students. It's, I think, phenomenal that we can do that for our kids. And we get around 2,000 credits a year out of those dual credits. About 90% of our kids receive dual credits every year in one class or another. So, it's very important to us that our kids understand the rigor that's involved in that. All of our teachers volunteered to go and make sure that they are trained and qualified to teach those dual credit classes. We also have about 30% of our kids who are graduating with the College Core, which means they're going on into college as sophomores. We have about 30% of our kids who graduate with an honors diploma, both the technical and academic honors. And we have been recognized really nationally for our Project Lead the Way program in our elementary, junior high, and high school. So, we try to use that as kind of our base. And then those things lead to our community partners wanting our kids to be part of whatever they're offering as far as job wise. And it may be working at a restaurant, it may be working at our nursing homes, it may be working at our hospital, our ag. One of the things that kind of separates Greensburg from some communities is we are very, very, I think, focused on ag within our community. But at the same time, we employ about 5,000 people here in the community in our industry. So that's very, very important as well. It gives us the opportunity to provide a lot of opportunities to our kids, which is what it's all about. If you hear me speak a lot, you'll always hear me speaking about opportunity, because I think that's what life's all about. And then it's about taking advantage of those things. But, our community helps us do that. We have in our school district, we have a high school vocational center that our community built about 7 years ago. They invested about $2 million in providing for vocational ed right there in our high school, because we found that our kids, they didn't want to ride a bus for an hour, take an hour class and ride a bus for an hour back to school. So we built it, and guess what? They came. We were looking at about 70 kids a year involved in our CTE classes. Now we have about 600 kids involved in our CTE classes. So, it's one of those, you build it, they will come. In our junior high, we just invested about $2 million in building a innovation lab there for kids, not only do the project lead the way, but they also have a chance of doing a lot of other hands-on activities in all of their classrooms. So, we've invested in building the things that are going to give our kids the skills to go out there and be successful in our work-based programs. And, normally when we have a work-based program, we want to make sure that partner that we have, that they're providing some mentorship to that student that's part of that program. Because if you just take a kid and you throw them on an assembly line and they've never been there before, they've never done any of those activities, they're not going to be successful. But if we take a child and we give them an adult that's been doing whatever the job that is for years, and they have a skill set and they pass that skill set on to the kid, they're going to be successful. One of the things that's really grown for us in the last couple of years is through our CTE program at the high school. We have a construction class that's really putting a lot of kids out in our community to work with our builders, and they're really seeing some success from that. And probably we're going to have, I would say, just in the last few years, there's 2 or 3 kids you could identify. At some point, they will be the builders of Greensburg in the future. And they're going to get that skill set from working with the highly successful people that we have now. So, those are just some of the things that we're doing at our high school.
Yeah, I love that. Go ahead, Pat.
Too much. I know. We're all too excited, ready to jump in. So, Tom and Tammy, as you think about the not only providing work-based learning, but really thinking through what high quality work-based learning experience, what that looks like for students, and the importance of those community partnerships, those industry partners. Anything that I'm really curious in terms of how not only you've developed those business partnerships, but how you have nurtured them and really made it a collective effort to support students in those work-based learning experiences.
Well, I think that comes from our partnership with the Ed Service Center, our East Central Ed Service Center partnership. We did a 3E grant where we were able to work with our EDC, and we had a coach that helped. We were already working with our partners in the community. Our Title IV grants had helped us pave some funding aside for a person to start getting out into the community and just reintroducing and finding out what the needs were for the community and what our needs were and how we could work together with our high school students. But with our work-based learning program, with that coach, we really have identified what our biggest employers are in the community, what our biggest needs are in the community, whether it be Decatur County Memorial Hospital or Aspen Place or Willows or Crown Point. Those are all of our nursing segments, and those kids that are doing the certified nursing, they're all great. I mean, we had 10 that walked out of CNAs mid-year last year. That was huge for them to be able to do that. And then to follow up with those students and find out that they're still working in that field or have chosen to go on to school and continue their nursing or medical field. We have a teacher who dedicated their summer to becoming fully vested in the biomedical Project Lead the Way path. We've got culinary arts that have just exploded, and those students will follow the next level pathway by completing 2 certifications necessary for that. Our early childhood, we couldn't do it without our very dedicated teacher who saw the need and potential for that, and then that feeds into our early childhood pirate preschool, as well as other child care facilities in our community. We're talking over 250 students involved in just career culinary or early childhood.
Wow.
So those opportunities wouldn't happen without the strong partnerships in our community and making sure that those kids have a place to truly put those real world experiences that they've learned in the classroom into practice.
2 other fields, outside of that is, our kids receiving certifications, both in welding and construction, and what they're doing out there in the community as well. One of the things that we run into, the same as most school districts, is with advanced manufacturing, they really, really want our kids, but we can't do a whole lot work-based with them in the factories because they're not 18 years old. So we run into that age barrier. But what we try to do in our advanced manufacturing classes that we offer in our CTE program is provide them the skill set so that they can get other job experiences and then use that skill set and be successful if they do go into a factory situation after high school. But even like when you look at the Project Lead the Way activities that we have at our high school, my son went into the military, and as an officer after he graduated in ROTC at IU, and he was his field was engineering, and so he had to compete against all of the kids who went through the academies and had engineering degrees. And he said he felt very confident just from the classes he'd taken in high school to compete with them during that program.
Wow.
And that you can imagine what that was. So, that made me feel really good that our Project Lead the Way is it's doing what we want it to do, and that is prepare kids for that next level. And that's just an example.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's amazing how much diversity you've been able to bring into the opportunities for students. Talking about careers and the different certifications, you've got everything from early childhood, welding, ag. It's a huge range, which I'm sure really appeals to your students because everybody's different. So you've got niches for all the people.
Well, it changes the culture of your whole high school when everybody feels like they're part of it. I know when I started as superintendent 20 years ago, you didn't even see blue and white in our high school. Kids weren't even proud to be a pirate. And, we've really, really worked hard on that as a staff, K through 12, to, the pirates are primed as kind of a little motto, but we really mean that. If you go through our whole system, we're going to provide those opportunities. They're going to make you proud to be a pirate and proud to take advantage of the things that are offered to you, whether it's elementary or junior high or high school. And if you walk down our hallways now, I'm very proud to say that you're going to see an awful lot of pirate gear being worn in the school, and a lot of kids that are very, I think, proud of being, a Greensburg pirate. Our athletic programs are very successful, but as I said, so are a lot of other programs outside of athletics, whether it be our academic teams, music, band, choir, our drama program. All of those types of things, I think, help lead to kids being proud of their school and being proud of being part of it.
Yeah. And I don't think we called this out earlier when you were describing your portrait of a graduate, but those 6 characteristics that you named actually make your acronym of primed. So your graduates are,
Yes.
or we could even alliterate it, like your pirates are all primed and ready for the world. So love that.
That was a little bit, might have been intentional.
We also, the collaboration, like I said, through the Ed Service Center, but also through CEL and Reckon with our rural early college network. Those partnerships are meaningful. We learn from each other. We bring back what is most useful and pertinent to our community and our students. So we're grateful for being recognized as a mentor early college school. So our students do graduate already thinking about college and what the next step is once they cross that graduation stage.
I think one of the things that's also very important is all of our administrators within our district, they're all very active in their associations. So they encounter other administrators that are doing great things. They have a chance to network with those other administrators. And I think Tammy and I try to model that for them, the importance of that. And that is something that a lot of people may not know about and really understand the importance of it, but we really understand that. If you're doing something good in your school district and I find out about it and I think it's going to be good for our kids, I'm going to steal it. I can guarantee you that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a really great point, Tom. Even the way, even how both you and Tammy and your other leaders are involved in the organizations and mentoring other leaders. I know you've been very involved in, mentoring aspiring superintendents and kind of giving back to the field of education, paving the way for other leaders to follow you. And I know you probably wouldn't mention that on your own, but I wanted to make sure to mention that and thank you for all that you do for superintendents really around the state of Indiana.
Well, I probably get more out of it than I give. It's very rewarding. And I think anybody coming into the profession, you need a little help, no matter how good you think you are. There's a lot of things that you don't know. And myself and a lot of other superintendents give of ourselves to make sure that they have information that's going to help them be successful. And that's what it's all about. But, I probably learn as much from them, even though they haven't got a lot of experience as a superintendent as they learn from me, but really enjoy the experience. And it does keep you at top of your game. And I think in education, whether you're a classroom teacher or whether you're an administrator, you got to be at the top of your game these days. There's a lot going on. There's continual change, and some of it's good, some of it's bad. One of the big things that is an issue now with some people is the change in the diploma. I see that for us as a real positive. I think that flexibility that we're going to get from it is really an asset in looking at us trying to blend the offerings of vocational and the offerings of our highly rigorous academic programs. So, you don't really understand that if you don't really get out there and talk to other people and look at different options that are available in other schools and really weigh in on some of the opinions of really the authorities out here in the state on what's going on. And, it's like that diploma has really evolved from the first, I guess, the first draft that they put out months ago to where we are now.
Yeah. That's something we have been hearing over and over again from both schools and industry, is that the student schedule is one of the biggest barriers to some of those partnerships and those work-based learning opportunities. So what you're saying about flexibility, I think people are going to find that helps once they kind of process the change.
Well, it helps us. We're on the block schedule, and the block does help a lot with employment. If you're on a 7-period day, same class every period, every day, it's much more difficult than when you're on a block and you've got 90-minute blocks that you can set aside for that work base.
Yeah. All right. Anything we missed, guys, before we wrap up here? Anything else that you want to bring forward?
Tammy, you have anything?
No, I think we've covered the highlights of our school year and how wonderful our school community is. We truly are grateful for our school board and for our teachers and for all the support staff because we truly all come to school focused on our students and providing opportunities for them.
And I think that is so important, is just to recognize our school board, because I've been superintendent 25 years, and I've never taken something to the board that won't benefit kids that they haven't said go for it. No, try it, see how it's going to work, and they've thrown no obstacles in the way. And as I said, financially, they've been very, very supportive. The board, the community, and I have a radio show on Tuesday mornings. I just had it this morning, and one of the things that I was talking about was the budget. And so we're in the budget cycle right now, and it's like, you know what? If people say, well, the only thing you think about is money. Well, that's not the only thing I think about, but I do think about money, because there isn't anything that's going to go on in a school that in some way doesn't cost money, and it costs taxpayers to provide those monies for the programs, for the personnel. And we're very, very, very fortunate in Greensburg that that's received very positively.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Lindsay, I'll leave the last question if you don't mind. For you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So now we want to take just a second here to get to know each of you a little bit better. We ask this at the end of every podcast. Let's start with Tammy. Tammy, what are you recommending right now? Tell us about something that you're excited and would want to tell your friends about.
I just think you get out of it what you put into it, and you just look for those opportunities, and you just take time for your family, take time for your career, live in the moment and find the silver lining.
All right. How about you, Tom?
Well, I think one thing I would recommend to leaders is to read the book Who, and it's all about hiring. Because right now, whether you're at the building level or whether you're at the central office level, one of your greatest concerns is, can we find a person to fill this position, and how qualified is that person to fill this position? Because truly, you are only as good as your weakest link, and your weakest link it can't be an employee. It's got to be something else, because you've got to have strong people, good people, qualified people. And I would encourage you to read the book Who. It's all about the process that you need to go through in helping determine that hiring within your district or within your school. It's by Jeff Smart and Randy Street, and it's a very easy read, but it's very important for all of us, because this past month, in August, we approved at our board meeting 45 new positions.
Wow.
That never happens. And the month before that, it was 24 positions. So, we're a school district that employs about 300 people. So when you're hiring 12, 14% new people just in 1 month, that's significant. So you better make sure that you do the right things in that process.
I would clarify, we didn't have 45 new positions. We had 45 new employees.
Yes.
Yeah. But thank you, Tom. Thank you for that recommendation. Who that was not a book that I was familiar with. And again, Jeff Smart and Randy Street. And that is incredibly important. Getting the right people on the team just to continue to build that culture. And as I think about the culture you've created at Greensburg, you mentioned your words, from the portrait of a graduate, but to me, it sounds like an intentional and dedicated, persistent pursuit of excellence. And thank you both for the leadership that you demonstrate in our region, in your community, and throughout the state as well. And we appreciate you taking the time to be a part of our Forge Your Future podcast today.
Well, Patrick and Lindsay, thank you very much for having us. And we're always available if anybody needs any help.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
All right.
You too. Bye.
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 Thank you for listening to the Forge Your Future podcast. We hope that this glimpse into the bright future of East Central Indiana inspires you and brings you hope.
We have the privilege to work with these future makers every day and want to share their stories throughout Indiana and beyond.
If you enjoyed today's podcast, please share it with your circle, and let's keep the conversation going.
You can connect with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and on our website.
Until next time, remember that your strengths and interests are a blueprint to your future of success and impact.